put on the large muscle man, I usually just set it out on its own so you're prepared for that. The gray is the large intestine. The pinky color stuff in the middle here is the small intestine. I do sometimes tag this, which is the pancreas. I'm going to flip this over so you can see more of the pancreas here. I won't tag it, but you can also see the duodenum cradling the head of the pancreas. What I might tag on this side is this sort of light gray sheet-like structure. That is supposed to be the mesentery. It's what holds the loops of the small intestine in place and anchors them to the posterior body wall. So this is supposed to be the mesentery. I also might use this side of the model to tag this little structure. This is the appendix, hanging off the cecum of the large intestine. That's the appendix. On the front of this model, I use this for a couple possible things. The first is the parts of the large intestine. So I'm going to do them in order. The first part of the large intestine is called the cecum. The second part of the large intestine, where the food goes up, is called the ascending colon. The next part of the large intestine that makes the curve turn is called the hepatic flexure or right colon flexure. The next section or region is called the transverse colon, running transversely. The next section that takes the turn is called the splenic flexure or left colon flexure. Then you have the descending colon that brings the food down. And although you need to know them for the lecture test, I will not tag the sigmoid colon, rectum, anal canal, or anus on this model. So for this piece of the model, you can stop at the descending colon, but you should know the other parts for the lecture test all the way to the anus. Final two things here. If I ask you to name the pouches, and I would call them pouches, those pouches are called haustra. You can see them along the entire large intestine, and those light gray bands that you can see along the length of the large intestine, both sides, those light gray bands are the tinea coli. Those are the three clusters of longitudinal muscle that make the large intestine sort of cinch up, almost like pleats in fabric, into those little pouches called haustra.